Welcome back to the channel, guys. We've got a big push day going down, and today I'm going to show you how to get a massive chest. So, do me a favour, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get it. Big chest day. The reason why this is my all-time favourite delt exercise is not only you're taking your delt through its full range of motion, working the side and the rear delt and your trap to a degree, but this movement is a fantastic functional movement. So you get best of both worlds, big juicy shoulders and functional shoulders, challenging your delt in this range above the head, which makes it an invaluable exercise for shoulder health and full delt development. You want big shoulders? Get on this, try it out, and let me know below once you do get massive shoulders. Let's go. So, here we go with the Incline Smith machine press. Now, a 30-degree Incline Smith is by far one of my favourite movements of all time. Now, it's a movement that the academic crowd deem as non-optimal. Reason being, a Smith machine does not converge, which, yes, technically doesn't make it the most optimal movement to build your chest because it doesn't have this motion. However, this is a movement that allows me to stay super safe and allows me to actually progress my load over time without the risk of an injury. So for me, it is actually a great choice when it comes to programming to build an upper shelf. So sometimes, guys, a movement might not be the most optimal for some, but it can be very optimal for others. Oh yes, lock it. That's a little one, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Little one, that's a little one. Nice. Yeah. Exercise number 2 would be the high incline stride press. but it's been taken away, so we're going to give dumbbells a crack today instead. Haven't done dumbbells in a long time, so we'll see what we can do. Yep. How do we know when to switch movements in and out, or how to even switch movements when you can't do certain movements? It's very simple. The high incline stride press, high incline. Therefore, an ideal swap instead would be a high incline dumbbell press. Why a dumbbell over a machine in this instance? A dumbbell is a lot heavier in the stretch, and it's actually a lot lighter at the very top in the shorten range. Now, this makes an ideal sequence in terms of exercise selection where you're matching your strength profile of the muscle tissue trying to train with the resistance of the exercise. So, in short, Smith machine, quite an even resistance profile. Dumbbell, overloads length and range, which is a stretch where you are arguably going to be the strongest. So it makes sense to do it in that sequence, and it's an ideal alternative to towards the high incline press, which has the ability to actually adjust the resistance profile. So for me, this is an ideal movement that you can do instead of. Better than I expected, if I'm honest with you. So, you never know, I might have to keep them in for a little while. Just being very cautious with range of motion here, as always. I want to make sure I make these lifts as hard as possible. So, as you have seen here, I was actively making sure I actually touch my chest on every rep and then drive back up. Making sure that I've got total control of all end ranges and especially the stretch. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to back up for 40s and try and get some good reps in place. What you'll notice now as well, the rep pace on the down set is going to be a little bit higher as well because they can afford to do so. Moving on to the dip. The way I perform a dip, I actively lean forward a little bit. I make sure whenever I'm trying to biceps my tricep or the lower pec, I always allow for full scapular movement. So full retraction, and then as I press through, slight depression. Now reason for that, I don't just want triceps alone here. I want lower pec from delt, and I want some of the shoulder function as well, allowing the delts through to full retraction and a little bit of protraction as well. So it's a win-win situation using a dip with full range of motion, gain absolutely everything out of it. So try it for yourself, guys. It certainly has paid off for using it in my programming. My arms are pretty decent and I've got good health and shoulders as well. most gyms have a dip machine. If you don't have one, 99.9% of the gyms have a dip station. Now, a regular dip, a free weight dip, is actually one of my all-time favorite movements. I actually alternate between machine dips and regular dips on a frequent basis. So if you don't have a machine dip, don't worry, all gyms have a dip station. Hop on a dip station, use a weight belt, add extra loading, or you can use bands to overload even more in a simple fashion. So utilize it all, guys. You don't just have to use machines. I think all movements have a place and a purpose, as you will see today with me hitting the dumbbells. It's just, there's context to it. I think there's a time and a place where machines are more beneficial, especially in a diet phase, and then free weights can be more beneficial in an off-season phase when you are bigger and you have more weight to provide you with extra stability to actually be able to get more out of free weight movements like the dumbbell. The most effective pec fly motion is arguably incline fly that I just did there. Now, the cues that are so important on that, you want to open up your rib cage as much as possible, stretching that pec and abducting your arm as far as you can within reason, without overdoing it and letting your shoulders wiggle in and out. So, as I get into a position, guys, what you'll notice is I'm bending my arms as I come to that stretch, driving my chest up, opening up as much as I can, keeping my grip neutral and even in slight semi-pronation. And from that position, I don't think about allowing my hands to come forward. I think about driving my bicep across and into my pec, driving all the way through. So, as you can see, guys, my big focus is actually getting a lot of tension in the shortened range, contracting my chest as hard as possible, and then taking my time going to a stretch and really opening up the pecs. So, it's an ideal movement to finish off on after your bread and butter heavy compound work. single arm tricep overhead extension. One of the best tricep movements of all time. Why? It does bias more so the long head of your tricep, which pretty much makes up the majority of your tricep. So working in this plane of motion does have huge benefits when you are trying to grow your tricep, especially in a front double bicep shot where you will have that tricep hang here as you come through, right? You want the density here for this tricep to hang. So when you throw your front double bicep up, you've got more density to your arm. So that is a great movement that you need to do if you want to improve your front double bicep. To finish off on a Joe Bennett special, which is going to be an incline press up. Now this is simply to just fill my muscle full of blood, and this will tick off my chest, delt and tricep, because what you'll see guys here is I'm going to purposely try and get as much range of motion as possible. Again, align my shoulders to work, full protraction, full retraction, and just trying to get as much range and as many reps as possible, filling my chest, delt and tricep with as much blood as possible to finish the workout off. Then straight into a dip stretch. Then straight into a dip stretch. You can't do that, bro, you've got no carbs in you. You can't do that yet, you've got no carbs in you. Chest training, it's extremely simple. Pick movements that you enjoy. Pick movements you can progress safely over time. And that is where, after picking the right movements that you actually enjoy and can safely progress, that is when you take consideration resistance profiles or how effective the movements are when it comes to actually building muscle mass, or how optimal they may be. Because being optimal is one. There's also a massive component where you need to step in the gym and you need to be fired up to train. Would I be fired up to do a cable incline press? No. Would I be fired up to do a high incline dumbbell press? Absolutely. Now, to a degree, many people may even argue that, you know, a cable press would be more beneficial and more optimal. Yes, but I get a little twitch on thinking about the dumbbells. When I look at the cables, I'm like, I need to do this. But when I look at dumbbells, I want to do this. So now I will break down as to how you can actually structure your chest training for it to be super effective. Start with an incline or a flat machine press. Follow that up with either a high incline or an incline or a flat dumbbell press, depending on what you started with. And again, you could have two variations where one workout you start with a high incline, second workout you start with a low incline or a flat, and then one workout, if you start with a high incline, then you would follow on with a flat press or a flat dumbbell. If you started with a low incline, then you follow on with a high incline. Does that make sense, guys? So you work in sequences and sections, and then I would always like to start a sequence with two compounds, one that will be more biased towards the chest, one that will tie in some of the upper pec and the front delt, and then a tricep compound movement that will inevitably tie in some of the front delt, some of the pec and the tricep. Follow that up with a chest isolation exercise, and that is all you need to grow a huge chest. Now, if you are an individual that struggles with connecting with your chest or developing the mind to muscle connection, which I don't truly believe in, I think you always need to prioritize your training execution and your exercise setup, because if you nail your training execution and your exercise setup, that will lead to much better mind to muscle connection. Please always remember that, guys. Now, If you're an individual that has overdeveloped shoulders and your chest is lacking, this is where I would suggest starting with a pec fly variation before you actually go into your chest compound movements. That will actually allow you to keep much better connection with your chest whilst you perform these exercises, therefore bias the pec a little bit more, and to a degree prevent the delt to do as much work as it probably always has been. Now, another consideration to make, guys, if you are a delt dominant person, to keep your shoulders out of it, simply keep your posture, keep your sternum lifted up, keep a proud chest, and make sure that you keep your chest in front of your shoulders. Guys, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and much more content coming your way. Let's get it. Peace out, guys.